Hey guys, today we're out with Garcia. I apologise for the wind noise, hopefully it's not too bad. We are on the brand new 2023 Garcia 60 Exploration. You'll see some clips in a minute. We've got the Genoa out, we're on a beam reach. We got about 14 knots, 14 to 15 knots true wind speed, and we're averaging about 6.5 knots. Just walking up, I don't know, we've got about half a metre of sea outside here of Cherbourg. We had some storms over the weekend, but as you can see, it's calmed down a little bit. What I'm going to do, before I do the tour on the outside, I'm going to show you what it's like on the inside on the nav desk, just to give you an idea, and then we'll do a tour of the outside, because I want you to see actually how quiet it is in this boat and how good a view. I am at the interior nav station. We'll go through all this stuff again. You've got your B&G chart plotter, your autopilot, wind instruments, VHF, fusion stereo over here. Excuse me. Volvo Penta, your electronic throttle controls and so on. But I want to show you the view I have from my interior helm station, just to show you how much you can see. If I'm going too fast, let me know in the comments below. But this is the benefit of a race saloon. Just to give you an idea how comfortable it is in here. I think the wind's on averaging today, say between 15 gusting to 20 knots. A little bit overcast, in fact very overcast now. We had some sunshine earlier, but I'm in the cockpit area. When we get in, I'll show you. In fact, I'll do it in a minute when there's not so many people over there. But if you remember the Allure 51.9 or 50.9 that we showed at boot, what I'll do is I'll leave a link for it up here or down in the comments below. They have 2 working spaces plus somewhere with the Allure it's more pronounced because you have a more aft deck. With the Garcia, you'll see that with the stockage and so on, when we actually do the tour around, I'll show you how all the stockage works. But the whole idea is you have no lines, there's nothing within the working side of the boat with helming, with crewing or anything of the boat actually in this area here whatsoever. I can tell you I'm very comfortable. Tucked away in the corner. I wouldn't mind going up into the Arctic. When this area of the cockpit's empty, I'll give you a full tour, show you how it's surrounded in on the canopy. But it's absolutely fantastic. And just over on the starboard side, we'll go and have a look at your nav area, because you have your two helm stations. You have your raised nav area inside in the saloon, so you can basically pilot the boat from the inside, and another one in the cockpit, so you can be sheltered all the time. Okay, up on the starboard side, we're well on the hill. I don't know if I can actually capture that with the camera, unless we've got the gimbal. It never really if I go like that, it'll give you a good idea how much we're heeling. It's not bad. So in your cockpit area, so here's your companionway, which we'll have a look at when we do the tour. And then up here in the cockpit area, where you're nicely enclosed, you have all your nav light buttons, compass light, autopilot, great big, it's either a 15-inch Zeus B&G chart plotter, all your bits and pieces. And obviously it'll do radar. There's your B&G repeaters, wind instruments and so on, and your VHF. But I mean, in the cockpit you can see everything that's going on. You can see your foresails, and up through here you can see your mainsail, and just up through the starboard side behind me you can see all the way around. It's quite nice with the Garcia. They've thought about having an area for storing bits and pieces. Well, I don't know if you've got any paperwork or, you know, mobile phones, something to eat, sandwich, and that's mirrored over on the port side. But you'll see over here, I'll reiterate when we do the full tour when we're back in the marina, but obviously you've got your engine alarm system with fire extinguishers and so on, and the genset room. Just give you my view down the port side of the boat. As you can see, for when you're helming, you have a Harken 50 self-tailing 2-speed winch there, and a Harken 70 self-tailing 2-speed winch there. All your lines come back underneath the hard top. Everything's labelled up for ease. Doesn't matter what language, what country you come from, they'll adapt and put it in German, French, English, whatever you want. Primary winches, one this side, and I'll show you over on the starboard in a minute. You have your electronic controls, as you can see down there, for your primary winches, and down here your controls, push button controls there, and you can, if you wish, do everything from here too. I'll go through the helm station with you. I'll get Jerome to explain when we're actually back in the port what this particular bit of kit does, because I wouldn't want to balls it up and get it all wrong, because you'll let me know in the comments. You have your autopilot B&G wind instruments, repeaters, bow and stern thrusters. Your bow thruster comes as standard and your stern is an option. I think for me, 60-foot boat that's 28 to 30 odd tons, I think it would be well worth doing myself. You have your 9-inch Zeus B&G chart plotters, and obviously you can have your radar and everything else here, and your electronic throttle controls and the engine counter just here. Lovely carbon wheels, absolutely fantastic. And I'll just show you how comfortable. Really, really nice. Lovely view of the sails. Got the first reef in on a broad reach. I'll let you know how fast we're going. Apparently our true wind speed is about 18 knots. And you can see our speed over ground is around 9 knots. Keeps flicking between 9 and 10 knots, which is pretty good. Something that's really interesting coming down onto the reach is they actually lifted the centre board up completely, removing the drag. Right, hydraulic backstays attached to Dyneema. Go all the way up. Obviously your backstays, and forward I'll show you, you've got running backstays forward if you need them. It's nice, picking up a little bit now. That 10 knots, 21 knots of wind speed. I can tell you it feels very, very stable. Something while we're outside, which I think is pretty cool. You know me, I love pedestals, I love grab handles everywhere. For when you're on the hill, you have a handy little step here, which is very, very cool. That's repeated on the starboard side as we go around. Okay, I'm on the starboard helm seat. Very, very, very comfortable. There's enough space here for 3 people. I'll give you a look. I know we looked at the port helm earlier. Give you a look at the Volvo electric throttle controls, your B&G chart plotter, bow and stir thrusters. As we said earlier, bow thrusters standard, stern thrusters an option. Something I would get if it was me. Your wind instruments, repeater and autopilot. You can see your engine on and off, and revs and engine hours display. Right. I'm going to come forward. All your lines come aft. Clutches for your halyards, reefs on the starboard side, main sheet, staysail, Saloon. Harken 70 2-speed self-tailing winch and a Harken 50 self-tailing 2-speed winch. Before we go forward, I'll show you where the controls are. Have controls here and here, and your primary winches, which are Harken 70 self-tailing. You saw all the spaghetti of the lines earlier, all nicely tidied away in their little cubby. And there's one over on the port side too. Give you a pan out of the cockpit while we're here. And we'll go forward quickly. I know I'm going round slightly differently to I normally would. Another GARCIA right next door to us. Going to come forward. I've explained all this is non-stick. Slip, sorry. All this is non-slip. And up on the hard top you have your solar, which is non-slip too. There are grab handles everywhere. There are clips for harnesses or halyards, whatever you want, all over the place on this boat. There's your running backstays, in case you need them. 3-spreader mast, hydraulic fang, solid stainless steel rigging, nice and strong, nice and safe, and they're inboard and outboard shrouds. If you didn't hear me in the wind earlier, you can see the adjustment lines as you wind in. Beautifully done. Genoa tracks. In front of the mast, once again another clip-on point, just in front of the mast you have your primary windlass. The whole idea is the way all your chain actually goes into a purposely built box down by the mast inside. I'll have a look when we go around the inside. You know, you've got about 450 kilos, nearly half a ton of chain and weight here, so it keeps it nice and central in the boat. Self-draining and ventilated. Easy to move around on this boat. You have a huge forward deck, absolutely huge. Two lockers forward, starboard, port, exactly the same. Huge lockers, spare lines, sails, other bits and pieces. Here you have watertight bulkhead, and further forward, I'm not sure if we can get it on the camera, you have another watertight bulkhead too. So this is repeated over on the port side, and they're vented. Twin barrel roller, put your code D on, spinnaker, whatever. And we saw the furlers in action earlier, beautifully done. So you got your Genoa, staysail, jib, whatever. Forward, it's a little locker with a chain stop, which is pretty handy. Once again, self-draining. But what I'm going to do, show how easy it is. There we are, up on the coach roof, we're above the saloon. Everybody says, got me granny bars. Got your gooseneck, obviously your hydraulic bang. And up above, on the deck area here, the hatches are actually flush. And as you can see by the switches, we'll have a look when we get inside. Well, they open in different directions. Okay, we're at the transom of the Garcia. It's very, very similar to the one we saw last year at La Rochelle, except for, before we do the lockers underneath, they have an arm so you can store your spare anchor. There's a space for an outboard, and the outboard actually swings out on an arm here. And then you have an attachment point up on the davits to pop on your tender if you need to. It's very, very clever. Very, very clever. You have obviously another storage cupboard here, so you can put your diving bottles in, and another storage cupboard, locker on the port side. Port and starboard, you have these, get it up, these two pop-up cleats either side, and as you can see they got a line on here which is really, really handy. Stops your boat moving backwards and forwards. You have two large storage lockers underneath and your bathing ladder which pops out from here. Over on the starboard side, you have hose connection and a hot and cold. You get it out. You have a hot and cold freshwater shower at the back here, nicely tucked away. Just behind the port helm or the port seat, you have your shore power connection, and one as well for aircon and so on. Twin rudder, centerboard, all on hydraulics. And here is your cockpit. I don't know how many times I've shown you the cockpit, but it's an absolutely fantastic space. Completely surrounded if you wanted, with the option. And obviously you've got a granny tent at the back there if you need it. Have a compass underneath here. When you're underway, nice spots for food or drinks. And the table folds out nice and easily to seat 6, 8 if you want. It's been nicely inlaid. Very, very nice. And obviously when it's open, you have fiddles or stop all your stuff from spilling everywhere. This table is height adjustable. It is an option, not standard. So you can drop the table down and have a nice big sunbed area. The famous GARCIA sealable doors. Move my water bottle, and there is 3 steps. The companionway. Just show you that in reverse. Here you have access to a mechanical space. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Galley's down on the port side. It's a galley down. So you've got 3 steps. Very nice big fiddles. There are handholds that are covered in stitched leather. Everywhere you look. Here by the companionway. I'll just drop down into the galley. Every little nook, there's a little cupboard. Something's been made. Got your glasses and other bits and pieces in here. And once again, a bit like the Allure we looked around at Boot, and I'll leave a link for that end of the video. Here you got polished stainless steel, all in the timberwork. It's just these little details. The ambient lighting's very, very nice. Great Corian worktop, big fiddles, stop anything sliding off or mess going everywhere. Drop down bin. Hot and cold fresh water and salt water, and it has a foot pump underneath if you need it. Twin sink, stainless steel. Induction gimbaled stove. This is actually an option. As standard, it comes with a 3-burner or 4-burner gas. This is an option, and you do have a cooker hood up here, a cool box, fridge or freezer, depending on how you want it. Very nice and deep on this side, and because you can, they've installed a dishwasher here for this owner. And your cutlery drawer, soft close. Myself personally, depending on the options, I would choose to have my fridge here and freezer somewhere else, so at least when you're on the hill. But these because they think of everything, you have a lock either side. Stop them opening accidentally. Microwave oven. Once again, there's a shelf up here with some great fiddles and an opening hatch into the cockpit. Let some ventilation in. So you can have fridge, freezer, fridge, cool box. You know, it's your boat, set it up the way you want it. Overhead cabinets. There are ample 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure over the hood. I'll find out for you guys. Some very large ones, and these are actually really deep. Something you'll see at the back, and it's the same with all the cupboards, it's ventilated. And you have to remember too, with Garcia, you have that really thick layers of insulation, help keep your boat warm, help keep your boat cool and prevent condensation. And then obviously as we go around the cabin, you'll understand with choice of material that it really is quite luxurious. And got some nice fiddles that stop the stuff from falling out. It's excellent. Plenty of plugs everywhere. And over here. Right. Obviously. Problem is, it's a big boat. 60 foot, you can't get round it in 2 minutes flat. Right. It's your saloon. It's a port side. Really nice sofa. Lovely ambient lighting. They've done really well on that. And the cushions are super thick and soft, and the material feels fantastic. There is storage behind all the cushions and underneath the seats. You have, as you can see here, mains plug, USB charging, privacy blinds for all the windows. And if I haven't mentioned, I'll mention it now, that they're double glazed, super insulated, tinted windows. And this is your, we did a view while we were out at sea, but this will be your view in the marina. And over on the starboard side is your raised saloon area. All our bags are behind here. You have this table that can go down, drop down. These parts pull out, and then, oh, that's heavy. And they pull out a lot further. Then you have a huge dining table, or a massive double bed, somewhere to relax. Just give you a look at the joinery. You know, somewhere to relax, watch telly. And once again, grab handles as you're walking through. Right, coming forward in the salon, once again, fiddles. You have plugs and USB charging over there, and a couple of little drawers for, well, there's your almanac, compass, and obviously the same there, and pop your stuff on top. Just down here on the starboard side, these switches here are actually for doing your lights, so you can actually dim, choose your mood lighting, dim how, whether you've got your central spots on, you know, your mood lighting. Just here to starboard, This is basically a utility room, store room, tool room, whatever you want. There's a couple of freezers, huge freezers, washing machine, you know, place for storage, or you can have them as fridges. There's another freezer. For all the things, the ironing board that you think you might need on your voyage around the world, there's a space for it. And under here you have access to one of your diesel tanks. There's storage. There's your electric switches, fuses on the port side. They're all labelled, all marked up. Everything's just nice and neatly and cleverly hidden away. Nice space for your pilot books. Coming forward is your guest cabin, VIP cabin. I'll put some pictures or B-roll up for other options. It's a semi-island bed, queen size bed. Haha, sea bars in. There you go. So your drawers don't open in a big sea. Very, very clever. Storage underneath the bed. And you have plugs, USB charges, grab handles. Your lights will do red and white if needed. And coming over to this side of the bed, your heating, aircon controls and more USB charging. You have a fan in the corner. Here are two of the opening hatches up above. Once again, mosquito netting, or maybe mosquito netting, or vanity blind there to go a bit quicker. Nice vanity. Oh look, some RYA stuff. There we go. Got your books. And obviously the seat swings out. And there's your radiator. Your heating. I actually think it's a brilliant, brilliant idea. There are plenty of storage spaces up here. Once again, you have vanity blinds for your port lights, plug, USB charging, and over here, I like this. You open a cupboard and the lights come on. So a hanging space, once again ventilated. Fire extinguisher down there, very important. And take the bar out of here quickly. And then you'll see these huge drawers for other bits and pieces. Soft closing. I'll pop the bar back on. There's another drawer underneath. Loads of space, very, very comfortable. I'm going to have to be pretty quick. Port side is your workshop. As you can see, it's all full of cushions at the moment, fishing rods and other bits and pieces. But you have a work table, storage cupboards up here. There is storage underneath, and you have the crate drawers all down through here that you can pull out, put all your stuff, bits and pieces in. Have a vise mounted on there, and it has its own opening hatch. And then starboard side, you have the heads, and as you can see, I haven't forgotten to do the heads this time. So electric flushing heads, really nicely set up, actually, really nicely set up. Your tail rail is on the same heated system as your radiators, and then huge, too large. Hi everybody. Ventilated storage cupboards. Nice sink, all milled out of Corian. Yeah. Give you an idea of the height. As you all know, I'm 5'8", and I've got, let me tilt the camera up. I've got all this much room above my head, so it's absolutely huge. And there is a huge shower. And I have to jump up onto that seat. Nice big shower, and it's got a rain head up there too, which is lovely, very luxurious. Under the chair on the port side, there's a little secret hatch. You're gonna love this. This is your inboard zone technique. Start from the port. So, well, let's say port, in the technical room, have a huge Onan generator. I'll find out how many kilowatts it is, and you'll see it about here. Your master vault systems all the way along here. Fuel scrubbers, swapping from tank to tank. And then up, this is your hydraulic management system for oil, for everything hydraulic on here, so oil furlers, Vang, etc. Everything's labelled, everything's nicely organised, very clean. Your air conditioning compressors here, and then dropping down your water management system, your filters and so on, your water maker. Really nice. Over here on the port side there's a huge water tank. I'd say, guessing, I'm not a plumber, but it's probably about 80 litres or 100 litre water tank. And the expansion tank. And then second diesel tank. I think this, I think you have 2,000 litres of diesel and something like 1,000 litres or 1,500 litres of water. I will check, and if I'm wrong, you'll see it coming across the screen now. And over here you have all your electrical connections and your fuses, and I'm going to cut to a clip I filmed earlier in the factory so you can see what that was like. Before you go down to the master's cabin, there is a skipper's cabin. If you want it for skipper or crew or a child or a friend, but it's right down low. Nice view out your port light, and you have an inboard double bed with a lovely radiator. And the air conditioning is going in here, it's lovely and cool. You have a fan, and obviously your reading light, and there's plugs and USB charges, and a little bit of storage. You can't really see much. A little bit of storage in here. Very, very pretty. Come out of here. Day heads. There you go. All of those you said on the Sunbeam. There you go. There's another toilet. This is this is a manual one. You can have it electric if you wish. And there is storage underneath. I'm not going to open everything because they really want to go. You can see me in the mirror, and all the way up there is your headroom. So if you're really tall, nicely ventilated. So we'll come out of here. This one, you can't see it too well in this light, but it's actually red light. Double click on the switch, which is really handy. On a night passage, just to the right of that cupboard, you have another hanging locker. They've got all their life jackets in here. Down 2 steps, we are in the master cabin. Look at that. Large queen size bed. You have your air conditioning vent. These are your, on the right hand side, these are your digital controls. Grab handle and your upright radiator. Choice of materials is obviously all down to the owner, and colours of wood and veneer. But all around this cabin there is very clever storage options everywhere. Once again, the bars stop the drawers coming over all the way through. Storage underneath here, plugs, USB, storage underneath the floor, nice big hanging locker. Once again, the lights come on as soon as you open the doors. This room's huge. So central is normally where the lowest bit is. Once again, my head, I'm 5'8", you know, so easy. And that's in the central part. So there's plenty of room around the bed. There is clever storage underneath. Storage down this side. Once again, it's the same with the cupboards everywhere. They've all got their bars in. And there are different options, so we'll put a plan up on how the options on the layout are, but the owner wanted their heads here on the starboard side here. Very simple. Electric flush. There's your radiator towel heater, plugs, sink, shower. Once again, it's a rain head shower, ventilation, and for all the bathrooms they actually have a fan. We call it a VMC in French, but they have a fan system, so it can take all the steam out, all the humidity out, so you're not worried about condensation. I know you guys have got lots of questions for this boat. There's a few things we've missed out, like having a look at where the swing keel is and stuff like that. We've got some technical pictures. We'll run through those in the B-roll now. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And next time we're at GARCIA, because we will be coming back here sometime to see the Allure. So if there's anything I've missed, please put it in the comments below. We can have another look and make sure we get all the information possible for you. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and see you again.